What's up guys, welcome back to another video. Today we have a very controversial product, and that is the M50x by Technica. Now it seems like everyone either loves or hates these headphones. I for one am kind of in the middle. I do have a soft spot for these because after I graduated high school, these in fact were my first pair of monitors. I used to think they were so premium just because they were over $100. Of course I realize now that the real premium stuff is well beyond that price. I was just happy that I had something to record and mix on. There's so many YouTubers that absolutely despise these, yet there seem to be a lot that really like them. Tech YouTubers like MKBHD and Your Average Consumer highly recommend these, yet Z Reviews and DMS, who are audio experts, think that they're terrible. I've never seen anything this polarizing since Last Jedi came out. So I wanted to offer you my take of the M50s as someone that's been using them for the last couple of years. Now, the physical build of these is actually quite solid. The band is very flexible, yet it feels very sustainable at the same time. And they do stretch so they will fit pretty much anyone's head. The ear cups are your typical hard plastic, but they feel like they can really take a beating. I don't really see these cracking or breaking anytime soon. They have a very wide swivel as well. So build quality gets a 10 out of 10 for me. They're not necessarily as premium feeling as say the Momentum 2s for example, but the flexibility combined with the sustainability make these optimal for a studio environment. Beat Studios are roughly double the price and still can't achieve this. So let's talk about comfort. This is where the controversy starts. The pads are honestly not very good. They don't seem to be deep at all and my ears end up touching the drivers, and there's also very little cushioning. At first when I put them on, they're passable, but over about an hour, I found myself fidgeting and my ears even start hurting. The headband has very little cushioning at all either, which honestly I wouldn't mind if the ear cups were decent. The comfort factor makes these feel like an incomplete product. Comfort gets a 4 out of 10 for me. I can feel the tone of this review shifting as I write the script. To me, the sound quality is probably the most polarizing part. The treble is very harsh and sibilant, making these a very bright and harsh set of cans. When a vocalist pronounces those S's, it can be seen as very piercing and shrill. The same can be said about the hi-hats and cymbals. It often gets very fatiguing over time, and I feel like I need to take these off after a while and let my ears rest. Technically speaking, it's because that treble is so forward, detailed, and clear, but there is something to be said about a headphone that makes it hard to listen. I remember putting on Call Out My Name by The Weeknd, and honestly it was a chore to get through because he has that very high-pitched and airy voice. Though technically good for monitoring and mixing, the treble makes these very problematic for casual listening. On a more positive note, I listened to Hela Dancing by Keaton Henson, and it came across as quite sparkly and gorgeous, honestly. There are some benefits to a brighter sound signature, especially if you're really into classical music. But once again, the harshness makes a lot of songs difficult to get through. I quite enjoy the bass response on these headphones. They kind of give you the impression that they're tucked within the mix. It feels very present, but it never at all feels overbearing or bloated. It's a very clean presentation that is well balanced with the other instruments. My choice of reference was pretty much the whole Victory Lap album by Nipsey Hussle. I personally find the M50s to be lacking in lower mid-range. This type of sound signature is personally not my thing for listening to music. I find that with darker instruments, the lower mid-range feels almost sucked out, and they lack a lot of body and structure. Vocals often feel very thin as well. If I were to describe it in one word, the M50s feel a little hollow. If you're interested in soundstage, these have that typical inside of your head feel. It's pretty average for a set of closed back headphones. Separation is pretty good. There isn't a lot of blend between frequencies and instruments. Imaging is okay, but not really worth talking about. So for me, the sound gets a 6 out of 10. And now for the conclusion. These are a decent set of monitors. If you need to identify a problem in the mix, these will definitely get the job done. The sound signature make these a very good studio tool, but I can't wholeheartedly recommend these for casual listening. Not when the competition is so stiff. The Status CB1s are way more comfortable, and they're roughly $70 less than the M50s. Don't get me wrong, they're not nearly as detailed as the Technicas, but they're way easier to listen to, especially without that harshness that these possess. The ones also soundstage and image a little bit better. Not to mention, they have a more complete mid-range. Also, the 6XX and the 58X completely blow these out of the water, and they're roughly around the same price. These headphones get a 6 out of 10. It's a tough sell for me. Alright, that's it for today, and if you want to see more, feel free to hit like and subscribe. If you have any feedback, you can leave it in the comments below. Peace.